Assalamualaikum everyone, I hope you all are doing well. Today we'll discuss the summary of play Death of the Salesman. So let's start. Willie Loman, the salesman of past 60 years of age, enters the house carrying two large sample cases. His Linda asked him if is he okay. He replied nothing happened. Linda asked where he was all the day. He said he got as far as Yonkers, where he stopped for a cup of coffee. Then he said he couldn't drive anymore. Linda tried to console her but he continued. He said he came back 10 miles an hour and it took him nearly 4 hours from Yonkers. Linda asked her to talk to his boss Howard, so he can work in New York. But he said I'm the New England man, and that he has to send a wire to Portland, and supposed to see Brown and Morrison tomorrow. Linda insisted that he should talk to his boss so he can work in New York, but he replied if the boss father alive he had been in charge of New York now. Then he asked about his sons. Linda excitedly said that they get along with each other. Then Willie got angry because his son, especially Biff Loman, isn't serious with his work life. Linda tried to defend but Willie said at the age of 34 he still couldn't figure it out what he wants. That's a disgrace. Willie said I'll talk to him in morning and will get him a job in selling. Then he complained about his neighborhood, people, no fresh air etc. In his last line, Biff and Happy, both his sons, raised themselves up in their beds and listening. Willie said I wouldn't fight with him, if he wanted to go back to Texas he can. Then he remembered his past and talked about the car Chevy in red color which they had bought in 1928. The scene changes and now it focuses in the room of Biff and Happy. They were discussing about Willie. Biff thinks that his father is getting blind but Happy said no, he alright. Then they talked about their past. Then, Biff asked him why his father always mock him. Happy replied that because he wants you to make good, but Biff disagreed. Biff said that he had spent 6 or 7 years after high school trying to work on himself up. Shipping clerk, salesman, business of different kinds. But he couldn't make it. He said after doing too many jobs since he left home before war, he realized lately, in Nebraska when he herded cattle, and the Dakotas, and in Arizona, and now in Texas. He loves farming. Happy idealized him, then asked about Happy's job. He replied he can now only wait for his merchandise manager to die. Biff offered him to work with him. Then they discussed they can work together. Then Biff asked if he remembered Bill Oliver. He had said to Biff, "Biff, if you ever need anything, come to me." He said maybe he should meet him. But he feared if Oliver still thinks he had steal that carton of basketballs. But Happy said it's almost 10 years. Then they heard Willie's mumbling in the parlor. The scene changes. Willie remembered his past with his sons, in which they were very happy. And Willie Loman was an admirable man, whom wanted his sons to be successful. He remembered his days of success. The scene changes, and now focuses on Willie and the woman. Willie and the woman were flirting with each other away from New York, at his workplace. The scene changes and now they are again in the past. Willie, Linda and Bernard, Biff's classmate and Charlie's son. Bernard and Linda both were complaining to Willie about Biff. Biff had stolen a football. Bernard was saying this to Willie and Linda told Willie that Biff is too rough with the girls, all the mothers are afraid of him. And Bernard told Willie that he is driving the car without a license. But Willie doesn't want to listen anything against Biff. The scene changes and now they are in present. Happy had come downstairs in pajamas. Willie noticed his presence. Willie told him that he nearly had hit a kid in Yonkers. Then he regret that why he didn't went Alaska with his brother Ben. He said he was a genius. He started with clothes on his back and ended up with diamond mines. He got rich at the age of 21. Willie was arguing with Happy when Charlie, his neighbor, appeared in the doorway. He came there after listening voices. Then he said he couldn't sleep because of heartburn. They talk about vitamins and Charlie offered him to play. He took out deck from his pocket and they started playing. Charlie offered him a job but Willie refused. Then Willie discussed him about Biff. He said he wanted to go to Texas again. Charlie asked him to let Biff go. Then Willie asked him if he has seen the ceiling in living room but again they started fighting. Then Willie gone into a delusion state where he is talking with his brother Ben. Then he told Charlie that couple of weeks ago he got a letter from Ben's wife in Africa. Then they got to know that Ben has died. Charlie asked if he is in for some of Ben's money, but Willie replied no. Ben has 7 sons, so there's no opportunity like this. During all this time Willie was in a delusional state, was also talking with his dead brother Ben. They started fighting again, Willie and Charlie, during the game. Charlie has gone. The scene changes now. The conversation is between Willie, Linda, and Ben. Willie asked him where is the dad. He was of 3 years and 11 months when his dad was gone. Ben replied that he was going to find his dad in Alaska, but he ended up in Africa where he found diamonds mines. He was 17 years old when he went into the jungle. When he walked out he was of 21. Then Ben talked about his father. Then Willie introduced Ben to Happy and Biff. Willie told him that he do selling and hunt too. Then Charlie came and told Willie that if they steal any more from the building the watchman will put cops on them. But Willie laughs. He talked about his contacts and Biff. Ben was about to go, but Willie wanted him to stay. He said he knows are not doing good. Ben said you're teaching them good. Ben is gone, but he is still speaking to Linda as she is Ben. Linda asked him if have some cheese, but he said what happened to that diamond watch fob that Ben gave him when he came from Africa. She said you had pledged that 20, 30 years ago for Biff's radio correspondence course. Willie started walking. He was almost gone when Biff came downstairs. He asked what has happened to him. Happy also came downstairs. Linda told them not to speak louder. She said to Biff that she couldn't tell him about it because for over 3 months Biff had no address. She also said that Willie's situation got worse whenever Biff came back home. Then they talked about Biff John life. Linda told them about her admiration for him, and she said don't do anything that make him angry. Then Linda told them about the reasons of Willie's condition. She told them that he has worked for a company for 36 years, but now at his old age they took his money away. She told them that he has to go to Charlie and borrow $50 a week and pretend to her that that's his pay. After that she told them that Willie had tried to attempt suicide. She also told them behind their fuse box she saw a length of rubber pipe. On the bottom of the water heater there's a new little nipple on the gas pipe. They both were shocked after hearing all this. Biff hates the business world. Then Willie came. Biff and Willie start arguing. Happy and Linda said to Willie that Biff is good to his old boss Bill Oliver. Happy said to Biff that they can sell sports in Florida. Willie liked the idea. Biff said he'll meet Oliver tomorrow. They all became happy. Willie told him some tips, which he can use when he meet Oliver. Willie and Linda went to their room. "Do Happy?" Biff came to his parents' room to say good night. Willie asked him not asked for less than $50,000 to Oliver. Biff came down. He reaches behind the heater and draws out a length of rubber pipe tubing, and goes to his room. So that's all for today's video. The summary of Act 2 will be uploaded soon. Till then, like, share and subscribe to my channel, and Allah Hafiz.